Hey, what's up? Welcome to Map Autopsy. Today I'm going to change it up a little bit. Instead of focusing on some boring midwit influencer map that just makes us yawn, we're going to focus on someone extremely important. We're going to focus on Plato. I think after going through this, my hope is that you start to realize just how important this man's cognitive map is. How important it was, but how important it still is. In all of Western consciousness. Okay, this isn't any ivory-tower bullshit. This is just text versus the map that we're torching. Plato handed humanity the first genuine red pill. Any red pill you see today, that all stems from Plato. That's all Allegory of the Cave. Matrix, the movie, they based the whole thing off of Plato's cognitive map and the Allegory of the Cave. So Plato drew up the first genuine red pill, and then immediately drew up the blueprints for the most sophisticated blue pill control system in Western history. There is no better one than the map he blueprinted. You can see its remnants even in the phone. If you're watching this on a phone, in the computer that you have or the phone that you have. Bars aren't bars anymore, they're surface bars. But we'll get to all that later. In this autopsy, we're going to dissect Plato's full cognitive operating system. And as I said, it's the source of Western consciousness. Cave is not a metaphor for ignorance. Every part of human society built by language itself. Gods, laws, myths, nations, word meanings, etymology. All of it is the simulation. Language itself, is the operating system. Aristotle called human beings zoon logon ekon. That means creatures, animals, possessing speech. That is a correct definition. He was Plato's student in the academy for 20 years. Sophists, in Plato's system, sophists are the shadow puppet masters. They program the fire, they cast the shapes on the wall, they interpret the shadows for the prisoners. Most people, most prisoners, they merge their identity with those illusions and spend their whole lives debating the interpretations. That is the conventional world almost no one ever escapes. That's the world kids get raised in, and their cognitive map gets passed down, and this is reality. No, those are shadows. Those are created by sophists, every single one of them. Every nation, every law charter, every religion. Language itself, the words that have been crafted. Okay, so the real escape hatch is dialectic, aporia, and then remembering, recollection, Plato called it. This is all Plato's map. I'm not telling you answers like, this is the answer. We're going off of Plato's map, okay? The philosopher drags every doctrine into a logical impasse. That's the aporia. That's what Socrates was doing with these people. You drag them into logical impasse, aporia, until the prisoner's map collapses in real time, and they sit there with the collapse. Justice was this, the human society told me. Oh no, and you run through a logical impasse with them, and they hit it, and then they're stuck right there in logical impasse, aporia. What this is meant to do is this is meant to trigger recollection. Because the immortal soul, as Plato saw it, already knows the forms from before embodying in the human form. Dialectic and the sensible world simply remind it. So dialectic is a cutting down. He's constantly cutting down. Brings him into this aporia. Plato maps the hierarchy of the divided line too. Shadow images and belief in conventions, mathematical reasoning, and then direct noetic grasp of the forms. Below the divided line is the realm of becoming, flux, language, copies. Above it is the realm of being, eternal and unchanging, think Parmenides. At the very top sits the form of the good, the true sun that makes everything intelligible. This is reason. Everything else, including language itself, is downstream of this. Language itself is downstream of the form of the good, the true sun in Plato's cognitive map. The deepest truths cannot be captured in words, and Plato himself admitted this in the 7th epistle. The truth, after one is brought into the logical impasse, and the cave definitions falter, the truth flashes like a lightning bolt. Long dialectical exercises can bring this out, shared contemplation. That's why the academy was so important to him. Written texts are dead. Language is dead on the page. They weaken memory, and they cannot defend themselves. Just think of Phaedrus. Only living oral dialectic can midwife real insight. Socrates is the failed midwife. He's failed on purpose. He wants them to birth stillborns because cave definitions are supposed to be stillborn. That's why Theaetetus, all the definitions fail. He's a failed midwife on purpose. He's meant to lead men into aporia so they can turn to the form of the good. Inside the Republic, the tripartite soul mirrors the city. Reason, spirit, appetite. Justice is not primarily social. It is a microcosmic harmony with reason ruling. Education is the turning of the soul towards the good through philosophical eros. Think of symposium, the ladder that climbs from the physical beauty all the way up to beauty as a form itself. For the rare few who might actually exit, Plato gives them the ideal. It's the divine statesman as the master weaver. For everyone who will never leave the cave, he provides the pragmatic, the fail-safe, the fallback. It's the laws, the noble lie, myths, religions, politics as they play out today. Necessary fictions to keep prisoners orientated toward virtue inside the bars, because most can't handle it. They cannot handle the aporia, they cannot handle the aporia. They cannot handle being taken out of the conventional world that's been built for them with words. This is the full cognitive map of Plato. He shows the exit. He then equips the wardens with the most elegant instructions ever written for keeping prisoners inside the most beautiful cage in history. The ultimate irony is that the man who mapped the simulation also became its greatest architect. The books stay on top of the trash can. The map is exposed. This isn't hate. This is pattern recognition at the operating system level. See you on the next dissection.